The DataNet Federation Consortium is a National Science Foundation funded project to propose how to build infrastructure to support large-scale data management.
The main goals of DFC is to be a cross-pollinator for scientific ideas, scientific methods, scientific tools, and scientific data.
A lot of very important policy decisions are made on the results from science. And so you should care about the science being as accurate as we possibly can make it, as rigorous as we can possibly make it, and as reproducible as we can possibly make it.
One of the challenges with increasingly collecting lots of data about lots of things is how do you put those pieces of data together to try to understand something more complex than any one set of data can satisfy. iRODS addresses those problems. It is a way of knitting together complicated and disparate data sets into basically a framework, and so you can use different collections of data.
If data is ingested within iRODS at the onset, the rule-oriented portion of iRODS will allow you to wrap policy around that data at each stage. So as it flows through that life cycle, you can audit and you can verify that the data has integrity and has successfully walked its way through that life cycle.
A lot of things like Dropbox and so forth will rely on web protocols, and iRODS has a lot of code underneath that can allow you to move data at much higher rates. You can saturate network connections with the amount of data that can be transferred over TCP/IP or UDP protocols. So it's really good at keeping your data, controlling it, and moving it around.
So the DataNet Federation Consortium is a group of scientific organizations that have agreed to share their data on a common iRODS infrastructure. And so it's approximately 6 different groups sharing very different data sets in an attempt to create a national data infrastructure.
Most of the time, data alone by itself, one particular piece of data by itself is not going to be worthwhile. You attach it with other data of like-minded data, other community of data, then you get a lot more out of that. It is like humans. A single person is not able to do much, but when they collectively come together, they are more than the whole.
No one group can gather all the data necessary to answer very sophisticated, complex questions. But if we share our data across these organizational boundaries, which has not been the habit in the past, we stand to at least be able to consider solving much more complex problems.
They'll no longer limit their work to the computation that they can perform on their desktop or laptop. This is going to be asking questions that span large amounts of data and can handle large amount of compute. And so you are going to be asking bold questions and getting really good answers.